Good morning, Reds. Welcome to the Sunday Summary. And if you notice today, it's me alone. I got left in the dust. It's all good, though. We're going to have a good time in this build up to the City match. How's everyone doing? Look, this week was kind of crazy. This week was kind of nuts. I mean, it kind of started out, I don't even know. Like, it started out really good, and then it kind of built through the middle of the week. And then for me, at the end of the week, I think it got better. I think it's because of the anticipation building up to the City match. I honestly think so. I feel like when you're excited, when you're anxious for these matches, you start doing things that you wouldn't normally do as a result. So, like, I was going out, I was playing pickup games, I was doing all that stuff. I was going to the gym and all that stuff. So, it was an interesting week. But, Reds, we got to talk about some stuff building up to the match, okay? This match has a history of being one of the most anticipated matches of the last 5 years, specifically under Klopp and Pep. All right. And for me, Pep overthinking his tactics might happen. It actually might happen. Okay. He tends to do that. But if you guys haven't watched my match preview with Dominic, that's very good. Go check that out. He gives us a little insight into, how Man City operate or how they've been operating this season. So definitely check that out. I just want to give a shout out this morning. Nizam, my dad's in the chat as well. Java here and Liz as well. What's up to everyone? Let me know where you're watching the show from. Let me know who you think Klopp starts at right back. And let me know who you think Pep goes with in his starting 11. All right, we'll start with the right back situation and we'll kind of work our way forward, okay? And then we'll talk about, who is Pep going to go with, because obviously there's a shout for Fernandinho. Obviously there's a shout for Rodri in the midfield. And Ruben Diaz has just been absolutely solid this season for them. So these are all factors we got to worry about. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's go back and we'll talk about the right back situation. So we know we have the options of James Milner, Joe Gomez, and Nico Williams. Nico Williams performed well in the Euros, okay? I think the big thing for me is he ready to be thrown into a match of this caliber? Is he ready for that? Now, I don't doubt he would do fine. I really don't. But the problem remains that if Nico Williams starts, that means Milner and Joe Gomez will likely be on the bench. And the problem with that is when you're going up against Man City, I feel like Liverpool and Klopp need to play their best side. They need to do it. They 100% need to put their best side out there, regardless if you sacrifice a little bit going forward or, maybe something on the defensive end. You need to put your best possible lineup out there. So with that said, personally, I think I'd put James Milner back there, guys. I really do. I think I'd put James Milner back at right back, considering he performed exceptionally in the middle of the week, or last weekend, or I don't even know. I lost track of time. I really did. He performed amazingly, okay? I think James Milner starts back there. A lot of people would say Gomez, mainly because the last time we played City, or before when we've played City, we've seen a Matip, Lovren, and then Gomez at right back, okay? But we don't really have to worry about that too much. That was probably because of injury situations as well. It's pretty interesting. What do you guys think? Java here says that I'd opt for James Milner and Williams is not ready. I kind of agree with you. I think James Milner would be the solid spot back there. Oh, yeah, everyone's just telling us where they're watching from. I love it. We got Florida in the house, Virginia Beach. I love it. And my mother's in the chat as well. Yeah. So anyways, going back to that, Nico Williams, I don't think is ready. I think, and more to this, Nico Williams didn't play in any of the cup games. I don't think he played against Norwich. You know what I mean? Take that into account. Those are the games when he would play, and he didn't. So why would, the argument could be made, maybe you want to throw a young guy in, give him his debut in a big game. Maybe he'll perform well. But not in this game. Not with what's riding on this. You just can't do it. You just absolutely cannot do it. So I think James Milner. He goes James Milner. I think that the problem with that is that maybe we lose a little bit going forward, as if we had Nico Williams in there. But even with Joe Gomez playing there, guys, I think we would lose a little bit going forward. So I'm not too worried about that. But let me know what you guys think. We got my mother in the chat as well. Reds for life. I love it. And then Rashayan as well, or Ryan. What's up, everyone? Let me know what you think about the right back situation. Further in news, guys, 99% of the team is vaccinated. So that's good news, according to Jurgen Klopp. I wonder who that 1% is. I really do. I wonder who that. Do you think it's like one of the cooks, right? You think it's like one of the cooks in the back that's just like, I don't want to get vaccinated. I hope it's not one of the cooks. That would be the worst person not to be vaccinated. I feel like, maybe it's one of the custodial staff or something like that. But Klopp has confirmed that 99% of the squad is vaccinated, or at least that's what I'm assuming he means. Maybe the entire organization as a whole. That's what he means. And additionally, all right, we got the problem going on. We talked about the right back thing, but we got the problem with the front line, right? Who do you start in this game? Bobby Firmino's back in training. He's ready to go. Okay. You also got Diogo Jota, Mane, and Salah. Okay. Of course, Origi, Minamino. Obviously, they're probably not going to start. Most likely not going to start. These are all things you got to think about. Keita is back in training as well. Does he start? No, not for me. No chance. No chance for me. I think you go Curtis Jones in the midfield. I think Curtis Jones, Fabinho, Hendo, because Curtis Jones has been absolutely phenomenal. He really has been. Let's go over to the chat here. Let's see what people are thinking about this. Liz says this is a huge match for us right here. The dependable players must start. And this just goes to my point. You got to start James Milner. I feel like you got to start Firmino. And I mean, it's just tough. It's tough. We'll talk about City in a little bit, but I just want to get everyone's thoughts in the chat here. Christian King, what's going on, my man? Java here says, Williams is too soft. We need aggressiveness in Milner. And I agree. Ideally, I'd want Trent, right? I think everyone can agree. Ideally, we'd want Trent. But I think we could go with James Milner. Liz says, I think a valid medical reason for the 1%. I'm sure it is. Yeah. I'm just more so thinking like, when they sell you, they're like, it kills 99.9% of bacteria and viruses, or 99 cents, not $1, 99 cents. It kind of, when I first read it, I thought it was that, thought it was something like that. But I'm glad that 99% are vaccinated. What up with everyone here? My mom thinks it's the guy doing all the laundry. So, hey, it could be. Very well could be. Java here says, I think the one who's not been vaccinated is from FSG. Very well could be. Very well could be someone from FSG. I don't know. I think I was just pointing out the comical aspect of reading 99% of the team is vaccinated. So, for me, that's what I was reading about. Liz Golden says, Jota to come on as a super sub. Yeah, that's what I think. I think Klopp goes 100%, guys. Mane, Firmino, Salah. It's got to be. I mean, it's just one of those games. It's not a rotation game. If you look at our schedule so far this season, especially in the Premier League, we haven't exactly had the most difficult squad. And I think that speaks to the fact that we've been able to rotate. We've been able to play, Gomez, Kanate. We've been able to put Milner in there. We've seen Minamino and Origi, I mean, I think it's good to rotate. Don't get me wrong, but just not in this game. Not in this game, okay? I've seen a lot of people on social media, maybe not complaining, but more so saying, what's the point of having a backup right back if you're not going to play the backup right back? Referring to Nico Williams. And the argument for that is that Nico Williams is not Kostas Tsimikas. Nico Williams is not at the level yet to where you can say for any degree of certainty that he is the backup right back. At the moment, James Milner is the backup right back. For me, at the moment, James Milner is the backup right back. In my opinion, I think James Milner and even Gomez, we know Gomez has played every position across the back line in his career. He's even played left back. Okay, he's played 7 games at left back. They weren't the best games, but he was also 18 years old. So Right back for Joe Gomez. I don't like Joe Gomez at right back. He's more naturally suited to play in the center of the field, okay? So with that said, Trent, Milner, Nico is the order it goes. Hell, you could even put Connor Bradley in there or whatever his name is. I think he played pretty well. But the thing about these young guys, Connor Bradley did not want to go forward. When you saw him play against Norwich, right? Nico Williams, now I could be missing something, right? I could be missing the fact that maybe Nico Williams was injured. Maybe there was some circumstance I didn't know about. But let's just pretend he was completely healthy and Klopp chose Connor Bradley. Connor Bradley didn't want to really go forward. When he would push into space in that right side, you'd see him kind of pause and he just back pass it, right? He's young. That's what he does. Nico Williams, at the very least, pushes forward. Trent lives in the opposition's half. The outside midfield player has to come back and cover his right back duties. So in a way, if Milner starts at right back, we're covered defensively, but he can also get forward. We don't really see Milner when he plays right back, though, push the line, push the byline, and really try to get crosses into the box. He more so gets forward, links up with some of those wide guys, and then just kind of sits there. So I think tactically, even if no, I'm not going to go that far. I think tactically, James Milner might even be the best option for this tactically. Even if Trent was healthy. Okay, I said it. Trent obviously would start if he's healthy. But tactically, I feel like James Milner suits us the best. Anyways, let's go over to the chat. Steve just ditched me. He just ditched me. No, I'm just kidding. He's playing golf or something. I wish I was him. Christian King says, if we were ever short in Fab's role, what do you think of Matip moving forward? Just hypothetical. I don't like the idea, but it's funny because Matip has some of the best dribbling skills, and he's pretty comfortable in forward areas. But no, Matip's got to stay in defense. I see where your head's at, though. Rustin Cole says, it's possible Firmino starts, so we can use Jota as a sub if things don't go well. I think Firmino does start. I'd be very surprised, guys, if Firmino doesn't start. I really would. It's not to say Jota hasn't done well. He's done great so far this season. He's done great, period. But I think you got to start Firmino in this game. And if Firmino's not doing well, you sub on Jota, right? And the thing is, you could sub on Jota for Firmino, or you could sub on Jota for one of the midfielders, say Curtis Jones, right? If Curtis Jones starts. I don't know why you would put all four of our best attackers on the field at once. Seems like a recipe for disaster, but that's an option, right? You say we're down and you need some more attacking presence, you could definitely do that. Java here says Jota should start. Let me know what you guys think about that. Jota should start. He's good at scoring opening goals. He usually becomes passive towards the end of the match. Here, Firmino comes on and adds energy. It's a very good observation because I agree with it. I do agree with it. But the argument could be made, would you want a steady source of energy in that attacking role for the whole game with Firmino? Jota's going to play regardless if he's a sub or if he starts. But it's an interesting point. Let me take a break and take a sip of this coffee. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It's a good day. It's weird. It's weird being alone, not listening to anyone. I don't think I've done this show alone since literally probably our 15th video on the channel. 15th video on the channel was the last time I did it alone. So that was, 320 videos ago? Good Lord. Y'all should go check that out. It's pronounced James freaking Milner, okay? I understand, Liz. We don't need to get confrontational. And then Rashayan dropping the Jimmy emojis. I love it. Veberation. Interesting. New names in here. Subscribe if you're new. Jota is good with his headers. That is another thing I wanted to say, man. Jota, for being 5'8", 5'9", however tall he is, good Lord. He is phenomenal in the air. How many headers has he scored for us? It's got to be at least 5. All right, finally, let me take a sip of this. All right, and we have Diogo Jota himself referring to himself in third person. It's throwing me off. Here he is, right here. The great thing about Jota is he can also play on the left wing, so he could also replace Mane as well. It's a good point. It's actually a good point. And I'll say Diogo Jota's phenomenal attacker, and I think that's what Klopp does. He brings in players that are versatile attackers. They're not strictly meant for one position, okay? Perfect example, okay? The only player up front who is stuck to one position is Firmino, and Klopp did not buy Firmino, okay? Firmino's a center forward striker. He could play as a center attacking mid, but my point is he plays through the middle. Mane can play as a center forward, right wing, left wing. Minamino can play as a striker, right mid, midfield. Jota can play center forward, left wing. Salah can play striker, right wing. They're all versatile. You know what I mean? It's phenomenal that we have that versatility. Jota serves, for me, better as a center forward. That's my opinion. But they rotate anyway. How beautiful is it that our attacking line just filters and rotates? You take like screenshots every 5 minutes throughout the game. Every attacker, every midfielder is in a different position. You have some midfielders, some attackers will filter back and play right back. Seriously, it's awesome. I love the versatility that we have. So let me know what you guys think about all of that. I'll just touch on this one point already. Liz has put Steven on his list. And I hope Steven watches this back. And I hope he hears me saying this right now. And I hope he knows that I would have totally golfed instead. But it's all good. It's all good, Steve. You enjoy golf. I hope you shoot a 140 today. Yeah, 140. I hope you... Now, I was going to say break your clubs, but clubs are expensive. I don't want to wish that on you. But I hope you shoot a 140. I hope you get frustrated with yourself. And I hope you say at the end, damn, I wish I went to the Sunday summary and talked about the Reds with Kyle instead of coming out here and golfing and shooting one of the worst games of my life. All right, we're back. Okay. Oh, this is I was not even going to talk about this. How was I not going to talk about this? Lance. What's up, Lance? Discussing Salah's contract situation. Guys, listen to me for a second. There was the report that came out suggesting that Salah was upset, or people in his party were upset, about the fact that his contract situation talks weren't advancing quickly enough, or they weren't, I guess I should say, as smooth as they should be given his talent. Okay, given the fact that he wants to stay at Liverpool, therefore the contract talk should go very smoothly. We should give him what he wants, all that stuff. I don't think we have anything to worry about with the Salah contract talks. Despite what you may think about FSG and the owners, whatever, nobody in this football club is stupid enough to not do everything in their power to extend Salah's contract. This was our worry with Jordan Henderson. If everyone remembers, everyone was freaking out about Jordan Henderson. There's stalls in the contracts. 3 weeks later, he signs the contract. I don't want anyone to worry. I really, really, really do think the reason there's a stall in the contract is because Salah's focused on the season. Usually a lot of this stuff happens with international breaks. You'll see a lot of news breaking. During international breaks, specifically with transfer rumors and stuff like that. I could be wrong, but I think it gets done during the international break. I think Salah, the negotiations will open up more because you don't have to focus so much on the team. You can focus on yourself, your international duty, of course, but that's not as intense. You don't have as much training during that time. It's not as much of a time commitment. Let's put it that way. So I really do think that this contract situation will resolve soon. It might take a while, but guys, they're not stupid enough to let Salah walk. And not only that, he has a couple years left on his contract, I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. Maybe it's 1 or 2, but you got to extend his contract. How are you going to go this summer extending everyone's contract? Everybody's contract. Van Dijk, Fabinho, Hendo, all the Allison, everyone who needs an extension, right? The quality players that you want to extend. And you don't extend Salah. It just wouldn't make any sense. It wouldn't make any sense. So to answer that question, I'm not worried at all. I was never worried about any of the contract situations. If there's one thing I have faith in, it's our players extending their contracts. I mean, that's a given. I think a perfect example. Let me put it this way. If Luca Pellegrini or whatever his name is over at Roma extends his contract to 2026 and Roma just lost to Lazio, they're not even in the Champions League anymore. They're in like kind of a flux phase. Mourinho's their coach. And you're signing an extension with Roma, we shouldn't worry about anyone signing an extension with us. That's what I'll just put it that way, just as an analogy. All right. Lance, here we go. There has to be a way to pay him $250, $300K per week and give heavy bonuses where he can break the $400K per week. There's going to be no problem doing that. I promise you. All of this is why our wage bill is so high, guys. Our wage bill is, I think it's definitely top 5 in the world, I think, among top clubs. It's like 320 million a year. And to put that in perspective, PSG is like 350, 360, 370, something like that. And you take, this is like all staff, I'm pretty sure. It includes everybody at the club. Correct me if I'm wrong. So to put that in perspective, we may pay our other staff, not players, higher, right? You got to take that into account. We may have more staff. You got to take that into account. That may come in, that may include some of our like sister clubs. You know what I mean? I don't think it does, but it might. Just something to think about. So with that said, why is the wage bill so high? Considering that none of our players make over 20 mil a week, right? It's because of the bonuses. It's because we pay our players well. It's because of the incentives in the contracts. All of that stuff plays a role, right? You look at these other clubs, for example, like Man United, have some players making 300K a week, 350K a week, or whatever the case may be. They might not be giving them incentive bonuses. They might just be outright giving them, this is your weekly wage. You know what I mean? This is what you're going to make every week. I'm sure they have bonuses and incentives and stuff. But contracts are very, very complex, guys. I feel like a lot of people underestimate how complex these things are. The clauses that are in these contracts are pretty crazy. So anyways, I'm going off on a tangent here. But say we give Salah $250 a week, which is what I think they're trying to argue for, even though I think he deserves $275 or $300. I think $300 is the most the club would give him. I think $300 is the most he deserves at the club. That's probably going to go viral, and people are going to be like, "What's the most he deserves?" Guys, look at our other players. What is Van Dijk on right now? 220, 200, whatever his bump was. I think it was 220. Okay, Salah definitely deserves more than our best players, right? Because Salah is our best player. Salah is in the debate for the best Liverpool player in the Premier League era. Like the best scorer, at least, right? Maybe not the best player. He's the fastest Liverpool player ever to reach 100 goals. He immediately came on firing. He scored, what did he score? 40, 50 goals in a season? Pay the man. And I don't think that's going to be a problem. I really don't. I just think we got to be patient with it. All right, enough about Salah. Let's go over to the chat, and then we'll discuss Pep Guardiola. Okay, Diogo Jota thinks Curtis Jones is the most underrated player in the Premier League. I could not agree more. Maybe not the most underrated player, but definitely one of the most underrated midfielders. I think he's going to get PFA Young Player of the Year this season. It's a great shout. It's a great shout, Diogo Jota. Shout out Diogo Jota in the chat. Curtis Jones, I'm going to bring this up. I'm not going to say names because I don't want to, crap on any other channels. But I did a video a while back with another Liverpool fan. Great guys. And they asked me, they said, who do you think our most promising young player was? This was a couple seasons ago, right? So we knew who Curtis Jones was. We knew who Nico Williams was. We knew who Harvey Elliott was, but we hadn't seen him, right? Who else did we have at the time? I think we had Ben Woodburn, coming up through the ranks. Who else? Anyways, you guys get what I'm saying. They said that they thought Nico Williams was the most promising, skillful Liverpool player, like young youth player, which is understandable at the time, right? It was virtually between Curtis Jones. Trent was still there. Like, we knew Trent was still the best young player we had, but he had grown into a first team player. Okay. So it was between Curtis Jones and Nico Williams. We had seen maybe snippets of Nico Williams playing in the Carabao Cup at the time, and they said Nico Williams is the most promising young player, skill-wise. And I disagreed. I said Curtis Jones, given that Nico Williams is a right back, okay? It's a very specialized position. It's not a very valuable position because you can play in formations where you don't need a right back, or you don't utilize your right back as much. But you need midfielders, just like you need attackers, just like you need central defenders. You need people who play in the middle of the field. Now, I'm not an idiot. Curtis Jones plays left mid. He plays left wing. I get it. But Curtis Jones' ability to retain possession of the ball, to play pivot, to initiate forward runs, to move the ball up the pitch, to swing the ball side to side, to shoot early, to cross early, all of these things at such a young age. And on top of that, he's a scouser, right? I was like, Curtis Jones is our most promising young player. He is our most promising young player. And I think he has surpassed Nico Williams by miles. Miles. He's left Nico Williams in the dust. Now, to Nico Williams' credit, he's got Trent Alexander-Arnold ahead of him and James Milner, to be fair. So Curtis Jones is kind of like, he just jumps at the opportunity to play. And we really haven't seen Curtis Jones consistently up until like last season. So last season was our first glance of like week in, week out, Curtis Jones. And let me tell you, there's 2 games so far this season where I said Curtis Jones might be the best young midfielder in the Premier League, or at the very least, the most underrated. The Brentford match, and then the match against Norwich. Go back and watch both of those matches start to finish if you haven't, or you can even watch the highlights. His ability to create space for himself, being a midfielder at his age, is phenomenal. He's not scared. He's not nervous. Like, when you're young and you're playing, even now when I go play, like, I'm nervous of messing up, right? And that holds you back. He's not afraid of anything, it seems like. His ball retention reminds me of Wijnaldum. It really does. It really does. And I think Curtis Jones starts this game. If Curtis Jones does not start this game, I don't get upset about lineups, but if Curtis Jones does not start this game, I'm going to be a little upset with the lineup. Okay. Now, it'll be understandable if he doesn't start, right? I think Klopp trusts him enough, but I don't know. We none of us know. Who knows what Klopp could go with in the midfield? The smart money's on Jones, Hendo, Fabinho, but you never know. I mean, Keita was back in training. Maybe Keita plays. I doubt he does. But these are all things to think about. So just to sum all that up, guys, Curtis Jones is definitely our most promising young midfielder. And he's the most underrated player in the league, I think, because he's overshadowed by our exceptional talent in the squad. You know, if someone has a good game, right, you're talking about Salah, you're talking about Van Dijk, you're talking about Trent, Robbo, whoever is attackers that had great games. But Curtis Jones got player of the game the other day, right? I think that should speak to what this kid can do. I think he's motivated by the fact that he's a Scouser. He has the same motivation that Trent has. And that's why you see these players surpassing other youth players in the squad, right? Like when Nico Williams plays, he's solid, he's promising. But he's not forcing Klopp to play him week in and week out. Trent forced Klopp to play him over Klein. Yeah, granted, he got an injury and he was out, so Trent had to play. But Trent earned that spot and never looked back. Curtis Jones is trying to do the same exact thing, and I think there's a good argument for it. Let's go over to the chat. What do we got? Lance, Curtis stays healthy. He'll be a true star in 2 years. I think he's well on his way, my friend. Yes. James Milner gets a yellow card within the first 2 minutes, or I'll shave my head. I'm just kidding. I'm not shaving my head. Idiots. All right, Christian King. Milner worries me against Grealish, would prefer Gomez. Look, I'm not playing 3 of my center backs in one game at the same time. I'm not doing it, Christian. I'm sorry. I'm not doing it. After last season, after having to stress about the defensive struggles with Nat Phillips and Ozan Kabak at the back, not saying they didn't do well. They did. I mean, they helped us finish third. I'm not going back to those days. Those are dark, dark days. I'm not going back to it. Gomez does not, if anything, Gomez gets subbed on as a center back. I would be very surprised, guys. I wouldn't do it. If I'm manager, I am not putting 3 center backs there. I'm 100% putting Milner there. And then maybe someone on Nico Williams at the end of the game. Who knows? Harry says Milner needs to play right back. He's a legend. You're damn right he needs to play right back. Liz says Jones has remarkable football maturity, and I agree. That's pretty much what I was getting at. Guys, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Having a good time in here. Nothing but Reds. Legends. I got to take a sip of my coffee, and then we'll talk about Pep. We've talked about our midfield for a while. We got to move on to what Pep's going to do. All right, here's the deal with Pep. Pep has enough depth in his squad to pretty much do whatever he wants. And in my match preview with Dominic, he was saying that the back line is pretty much stapled on with Kyle Walker and João Cancelo. Mainly because Kyle Walker, he was basically saying that Kyle Walker would kind of filter in. At times they're playing a back 3. And then João Cancelo kind of goes forward and feeds the attack almost. Of course, with Kevin De Bruyne stapled out in the midfield. Where I think Pep overthinks, and he's done this before, he'll change a formation or he'll put players in weird positions. Okay, I just remember he went with like a 4-2-3-1, and Pep is a notorious 4-3-3 guy. Most times I feel like when I watch City, they're in a 4-3-3. That's his go-to formation. He'll change up his formation. He'll play players that he doesn't normally play as like a ploy to, maybe they're motivated to play this game. Okay. If Pep overthinks his tactics, Liverpool win this game, no problem. It's the fact of the matter. If Pep overthinks his tactics, Liverpool win this game. If Pep just approaches this game like it's another Premier League game, puts out his normal players, right? Meaning that Laporte, Diaz, Cancelo, Walker, Ederson, midfield of Rodri, De Bruyne, and Silva maybe? And then you put Grealish, Torres, and whoever else. Maybe Mahrez, probably Jesus. If he puts out that lineup, it's going to be a phenomenal football game. It just is. But it's not above Pep or below Pep or whatever the saying is to completely overthink it and then go with a midfield of Fernandinho, De Bruyne, and Silva, right? Starting Fernandinho instead of Rodri, right? And then maybe up front, going with Jesus as the center forward, Sterling out wide, and Mahrez on the right side. Like, he would totally do that, I feel like. I don't know why, but I feel like he totally would. Even though Mahrez hasn't been playing much, or at least I feel like compared to last season, he hasn't been playing much. These are just things I lay in bed and think about. It's like, what is going through Pep's mind right now? You know what I mean? Guys, also, I want to take this opportunity real quick. There's a new feature on YouTube. It's called a super thanks. And I think you can give super thanks when you're not live. So it's essentially like a super chat that's not live. I could be wrong. And of course, super chats are there as well. If you want to support the channel, that is one way to support the channel. You could also become a channel member. You could also just give the video a thumbs up. That is a great way to show your support, as well as subscribe. All of those last 2 things, like, subscribe, commenting, all free. All completely free. Up to you. I'm going to take a coffee break real quick. And I want to go to this comment from Sean, you'll never walk alone. James Milner is quality. Don't know why some people doubt him. Sean, with all due respect, my man, I don't know why your profile picture is Mario Balotelli. That's the first thing. But we'll skirt past that because I was actually excited when we signed Balotelli, but that's neither here nor there. I agree with this 100%. What I don't agree with is anyone doubting James Milner. Anyone who doubts James Milner doesn't watch the sport, or at the very least doesn't watch Liverpool. When was the last time James Milner had a bad performance? Regardless of what position he played. When was the last time he had a bad performance? Do y'all remember last year against Madrid when we lost? That might have been the best performance I've seen of James Milner's career. He single-handedly controlled the tempo of that game for us. He was slide tackling. He was going forward. He was defending. He was doing everything that game. And it even speaks more to when he was playing right back this past week. He's phenomenal. He is the definition of a professional. The definition of a professional. It's kind of funny because he used to play for Man City also. Jeez, I just burped in the mic. I apologize. All right. Liz says, I think Pep wants to outcoach Klopp. I think Pep will be left wanting. That's the difference between Klopp and Pep. Pep wants to outcoach the opposition's coach, whereas Klopp wants to outplay the opposition. And the difference with that is motivating your side versus changing your tactics. Okay, Pep overthinks too much. Klopp knows what he wants to do. He knows who he trusts, and he just wants to motivate him. Just go out, play your game. That's all you need to do. Now, Vlogistan, I'm going to 100% disagree with this. Respectfully, of course. Konate right back, maybe it's just not going to happen. Konate is not a right back in any shape or form. He is a center back. Now, could he play right back for kicks and giggles, to put it in a PG form? Sure. He's not playing right back this game. I'll tell you that right now. Oyvind, what's up? Sean says the Balotelli profile is a joke. All right, good. If you guys haven't watched the recent upload from Tifo Football on Balotelli's time at Liverpool, it's pretty interesting. Some stuff I didn't know about like what he did and just a horrible attitude, that guy. Brethren John, what's going on? Guys, we got a lot of new faces in the chat. I would love for you guys to subscribe to the channel. I would love it. It's free. It's a big red button. Can't miss it. And it's a click. Unless your clicker's broken, I don't know what you're doing. All right, but let's read that comment from Brethren John. Greetings to you good people. Hope all is well. Obviously, Klopp won't change his formation to a back three, but will most likely use Milner at right back. I won't mind seeing Gomez and definitely don't want Nico. So this is perfect, Brethren John. So I don't want Nico to play this game. That's not to say Nico isn't promising, but I don't want him to play this game. I would mind seeing Gomez only because I don't want three of our center backs playing at the same time. I just don't. I don't want that. Gomez has been great at right back in the past, but I want Milner in this game. Milner has earned that right back spot. He just has. And I feel like if anyone starts at right back aside from Milner, I'll be a little disappointed in Klopp's team selection just for that position. But that's just me. All right, here we go. Diogo Jota. Diogo, you need to be warming up for the game, my man. I've got a feeling that we'll see some more academy players that will break into the first team this season. I think Morton and Mazalowski will be the next to make the step. Is that the Polish attacker? We got a Polish midfielder that's just phenomenal. I don't know how to spell his name. I don't know if that's him, but we have an amazing youth academy. And one thing I want to say, guys, for some reason, this is in my mind, I'm just going to say it, Leighton Clarkson is so good. Every time I've seen him play, I'm just like, this guy is so good. But that's neither here nor there. I just wanted to say, Brethren John subscribed to the channel. I shouted out. Harry Morgan subscribed. I absolutely love y'all. Hyphen says, winning this game will change everything for us heading into international break. 100%. Could it be a draw? Yeah, it very well could be. I don't think it'll be a loss because it's at Anfield, packed house. I just don't think that's going to happen. But that's just me. Cal Hayward, what's going on? Grealish versus Milner has to be. It has to be. It has to be. Milner, at the very least, can be physical with Grealish, right? I feel like Gomez isn't as physical as Milner. Milner is going to make Grealish work, okay? Milner is just an absolute workhorse. Even if Milner's not having a great game, he's going to force you to play your best game. Let's put it that way. And if you don't play your best game, you're going to be shut down. He's a legend. The lineups come out 1 hour before game time. So 10:30 for me, 1:30 for you guys, not 1:30. 1 for you guys. Let's go. Milner could be better than Trent in this game. Oyvind, legend. New channel member, shout out to him. He is always good. Trent's game is more unpredictable. Yeah, Milner is very consistent. That just comes with the experience, being a Premier League player for so long. And that's why we keep him around in the squad. I keep moving the camera. Sorry, guys. Christian says, Leighton Clarkson reminds me of Sammy Lee. Now, I'm not going to lie and pretend I'm a genius. I don't know who Sammy Lee is. All right? I don't. Sorry. But who is Sammy Lee? Someone tell me. Vlogistan says, I think people are disrespecting Sadio. I feel like he's getting better. I'm not liking Jota lately. Been poor. Bobby, Sadio, Mo have to start. I agree with the last part. I think Bobby, Mo, and Salah. I cannot believe I just said that. Okay. Bobby, Sadio, and Mo have to start. Feel like, yeah. And then you sub on Jota in the 60th minute or 70th minute, I think. I think that's what it is, in my opinion. Now, Brethren John, let's go back. I guess the quick substitution of James Milner against FC Porto said it all, that he will play right back against City. But let's watch the space soon enough. Connor Bradley will be deputy to Trent. Now, I talked about this a little earlier in the show if you guys wanted to go check that out. Connor Bradley looked good against Norwich. But I think Nico Williams, why did he start over Nico Williams? Maybe Nico Williams is being saved for the FA Cup. I don't know. But you would think Nico would start in that game. So maybe Connor Bradley has earned a spot above Nico. I don't know. I really don't know. But there's a fly in this room, and it's pissing me off. All right. Shayna, what's going on? Cal Hayward says, much love. Shout out Cal Hayward. I love all you guys. Benjamin Christopher, what's going on? Everyone said Zaha is going to rinse Milner back at the Palace game. Well, I guess we know who actually got rinsed. Grealish might suffer the same fate, sadly. One thing I'll say about Zaha, remember 3 years back when he was being linked with Arsenal and a move away, and then he signed the new contract? Zaha is no longer the player that we thought he was. And this is just me based on the eye test, because I don't watch Palace week in and week out. I don't watch Zaha week in and week out. I watched him against us, and I watch the highlights whenever Palace play. Zaha has fallen off. I think he is at the perfect level where he is right now. I think Palace is the perfect fit for him, okay? Because Palace, with Jordan Ayew and Zaha out wide with a aerial presence striker, whether it's Hudson Edouard, Benteke, whoever's playing up there, I think it's perfect for him. But I think, with all due respect to Zaha, yes, he can get by, he can run by people. I mean, his strength is his speed, his agility, his quick, dribbling ability. But Milner, anyone at Milner's level should be able to body Zaha with no exception. If you play the right back position, you should be able to body Zaha, no problem. No problem. Zaha gets by inexperienced right backs, or if right backs aren't covering their space because they pushed forward and there's a midfielder there, that's when Zaha exposes that side and gets into the box to create chances. Yeah, that's just what it is. All right, Nico was injured. Genius. See, this is what clearly y'all aren't watching the show, because I said earlier, I don't know if Nico was injured. I don't know what's going on, okay? And so, like I said, if Nico wasn't injured, he probably would have played, or I would have assumed he would have played. But again, Connor Bradley, you could clearly see the inexperience there, okay? Because once he got into space on that far side, or that near side, he immediately passed it backwards. There was maybe 1 or 2 times where he pushed forward, tried to create some space and get across into the box, from what I remember of that game. But Nico Williams is very attacking minded. Like, he will get forward. He's a young not as polished Trent, in my opinion, in that aspect, in that attacking aspect. Christian King says Sammy Lee played for us in the 70s and 80s. I knew he was a Liverpool player, but I really had no idea. I figured, you guys would be talking about Liverpool players, right? Small, combative, and good work rate. That's what I think of Leighton Clarkson, honestly. Every time I've seen Leighton Clarkson play, I've been very impressed. Kind of reminds me of Billy Gilmore a little bit, like in the sense they're very similar, pivot, holding midfield guys. They can play anywhere. You know what I mean? Rashine says Curtis Jones stunner incoming. That's what I'm talking about. And Vlogstan says Fabinho long shot today. Good God. I was last night preparing for this match mentally, going back, watching all Man City versus Liverpool games from the last 4 years. Some of the play, some of the goals that occur in these games are just world class. You can't prepare for what happens in these levels of games. The adrenaline for every player is so high that things just happen that are out of the ordinary. Ox's goal, right? Bobby shoving off John Stones and chipping the keeper. Salah's goal after Ederson's poor clearance. This is back in 17-18, right? But then you have other instances where we played at the Etihad and we lost, right? We had the post Premier League Champions game where we just got crapped on. Then we had, I think it was last season. Was it last season? Yeah, it was last season where Alisson had 2 mistakes. Gundogan just tore us apart. We don't know what to expect in these games. And that's why it's so exciting. That's why it's so exciting. That's why I can't wait. Let's go over to the chat. Let's spend the last 10, 15 minutes. We'll just talk about everyone in the chat. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Shout out to all the new people. Nico was injured. Nathan Brooks, Vlogistan calling me out. I love it. I encourage it. If I'm wrong and I don't know something, I'll admit it. I don't know everything, guys. I'm a fan. I'm not a genius. What else we got? Oyvind says Salah will score. Yeah. The odds are in our favor that Salah will score. Water break. Vlogistan says, I know what to expect. 3-0. Yeah, score predictions, guys. Score predictions in the chat. Liz says 4-1 to LFC. Milner to score a belter and get a yellow. Salah, Bobby, and Van Dijk. Oh, that would be a beautiful game, wouldn't it? We know Milner's going to get a yellow. We know Milner's going to get a yellow, just like we know the sun rises in the morning. I think Hendo should take free kicks. That's skating the line of a hot take. I'll tell you that. Today, I think you're referring to today. Okay, so for today, maybe Hendo. I'm trying to think if anyone else could take it. Salah could take it. Yeah, you're right. I think Hendo might have to. If we're thinking about the lineup that we would have, yeah, I think it's got to be either. Oh well, Robbo could take free kicks. At least ones where we're trying to cross into the box. Maybe not ones where we're shooting. Shooting, yeah, you're probably right. Maybe Hendo has to take them. Nathan says Fabinho will get a yellow too. Look, if Thiago was playing, we know Thiago would get a yellow within the first 2 minutes. All right. But with Thiago being out, we got Milner to rely on to get a yellow to set the tone early, right? I mean, guys, honestly, I would not be surprised if there were several instances throughout this game where players are just in each other's faces. Just a lot of smack talk, a lot of hard challenges. This is going to be one of those games. Sudarshan Brahmbot. I hope I didn't mispronounce it. Okay, Machine Millie Masterclass. Machine Millie. Machine Millie. I've never heard that before. Machine Millie. That's his new name. James freaking Milner, also acceptable. Machine Millie. I love it. Because he is. He's a machine. He's like Robertson. He's like Hendo. Like Milner is the definition of a machine. He's like a machine that's hooked up to an oil deposit. Like, he doesn't run out of energy or gas. He's just always going. He's always running more than any other player on the field. He's always putting in world-class, not world-class, you know what I'm saying, but great performances, regardless of what position he plays. You could put him at striker. I guarantee you he'd score. I guarantee it. It's just awesome. Oyvind says Van Dijk doesn't get yellows. His tackles are always spot on. Yes. And that's another thing I noticed about Konate too. He did really well, not going to ground too early. Machine Gun Millie album incoming. Machine Gun Millie. I absolutely love it. Benjamin says Machine Millie could play till he's 50. I think Milner, I feel he reminds me like a Tom Brady. Like he could probably play for another 3 to 5 years. I really do think so. Just look at the level of his fitness right now. You know what I mean? That's what he's doing. He's at that level. Guys, score predictions in the chat. Who do you think is going to score? Again, coming to the end of the show, so we're just chilling. We're just vibing. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel. If you enjoyed the stream, give it a thumbs up. That's a big thing. And then, of course, comment throughout. Shayna says, I'm just worried about defense. If we kept strong at the back, we'll get 3 points. It's understandable you're worried about defense. If you take the Brentford game out of it, Shayna, hopefully this will put you at ease. Gave up 1 goal, right? Brentford played 2 at the top, and for some reason, we just couldn't handle it. And Brentford played very well. I think Brentford, a lot of people would argue Brentford deserved to win the game based on how they played. I wouldn't say that. I think a draw was deserved. They played very well. Hopefully we don't get our back line broken down like we did that game. I mean, it was pretty bad. They were getting in behind a lot of the time. I'm telling you right now, though, Man City are going to have chances in this game. I mean, it's going to happen. Our defense needs to be composed, compact, and they need to communicate. 3 C's. You need to be composed. You need to be compact in the box. Limited space between all defenders to prevent those short passes and creating chances when they're in and around the box. And you need to communicate when the ball is in wide areas. You need to stop the crosses too. You need to stop the crosses. We can't let crosses get in from the wide areas because that's what they do. Jack Grealish cuts in on his right foot, and he's either going to push the byline or he's going to try to curl one or just feed it back to whatever midfielder is making that run forward. That's just what happens. I'm going to block these people. It's just, oh, guys, I'm just so excited for this game. Sudashan says, looking forward to your Anfield Agenda collab. And yeah, it's Machine Millie's world. We're living in it. Yeah, guys, if you just in case you don't know, after the watch along, I'll be joining the fan panel over on Anfield Agenda, discussing the match. I think that's at my time. It'll be at 2 p.m. For everyone over in the UK. It's going to be 7 p.m. And of course, around the world, it'll be at a different time as well. See what else. Nathan Brooks says 2-1 for Liverpool. Vlogstan says 3-0. Kelleher comes on, scores bicycle, takes off his shirt, and shows his rock hard abs. Hey, I'm for it. Who wouldn't want to see that? It's not going to happen, but who wouldn't want to see that? You know what I mean? What else we got? Brentford's goals were kind of random and weird. They were lucky to get 3. They were, I think the luck came because they played so well, to be fair, Oyvind. To be fair. Brentford 1-0 up against West Ham. See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, Brentford are playing phenomenal right now. They're playing great football. They have that newly promoted energy that Sheffield United had the first year they were in the Premier League. 2-1 to Liverpool from Diogo Jota. Diogo, you need to start going out and warming up, man. You can't be in this chat, okay? What the heck? We've got Mo. You're damn right we got Mo. Damn right we got Mo. And Mo is going to make life hard for Cancelo over there. And what, does Laporte play on that left center back side? I think he does. I don't know. Maybe it's Diaz, whoever's over there. And then whoever's filtering over there to cover, right? Whether it's Fernandinho, De Bruyne, whoever. Our link-up play on that far side has been our strength this season between Milner or whoever's playing right back, Salah, and then the midfielder, who today it's most likely going to be Curtis Jones. That's deadly. That's where our chances are going to come from today, that far side. Matthew Moore. Wow, Matthew in the chat. Matt, how you doing, man? Hope you're doing well also. Matt, OG, man. OG contributor to the Sunday Summary. Man, it's been a while, Matt. Hope you're doing well, man. We'll have to get you on the show soon. Curtis the Apprentice going to be clutch. I certainly hope so. Mane needs a good game today just for his confidence. And I agree with that, Christian. If you look at the stat sheet, most people are probably like, Mane's having a good season, right? What does he have, 3 or 4 goals? Something like that. But the eye test is what lets you down. He's not making the right pass. He's getting dispossessed way too easily. And his touch is off, But you're right. I hope he has a good game to regain that confidence because his skill is still there. So I hear some people going way overboard by saying, like, Mane's washed. We need to replace him. No. Mane's just in bad form. And the best part about him being in bad form is even when he's in bad form, he's still producing on the stat sheet. So good for Mane in that aspect. All right, what else we got? Benjamin says, Van Dijk versus Diaz. Corners and aerial duels, it's going to be epic. How about Matip, though, Benjamin? How about Matip in the air? Some argue Matip is a bigger aerial presence than Van Dijk. It's just going to be an awesome game. I can't wait. God, we got all I got a bunch of people coming in and weird links and stuff. I never want to see a short corner again from Oyvind. Yeah, why don't we have more set piece routines? Like, seriously. Like, I see some really good set piece routines from other teams. And I'm like, why don't we have some of that? We take short corners all the time. I really think it's to bring the defenders out and create more space for our attackers in the box. I think that's what it is. I don't think we like having all of our players isolated to one area because then we're exposed on a clearance. You know what I mean? I think that's what it is. But can we at least get some set piece routines? You know what I mean? All right, Matt says, I'm all good. Was supposed to be at the game today, but still cheering on from home. Your score predictions today. Oh, Matt. So I think the last time we were on the show, we were doing score predictions. I can't do score predictions anymore because of Aston Villa and Man City last season. Those are the last 2 games I predicted, and they were horrible. They were horrible predictions because we got destroyed. So I'm not going to do it anymore. All right, what do we got? Searing Wangel says, I think Firmino is about to start. I certainly hope so. We're going to find out here in about 30 minutes, guys. So get your last thoughts, your closing thoughts into the chat. I really appreciate everyone being here. I know an hour with me, bless you. Bless you. I know it's rough. All right, but you guys did well to hang in there. Give the video or the stream a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And subscribe if you haven't already. We'll get everyone's closing thoughts in here real quick. And Matt, you enjoy the game as well. I'll be in touch. Great show, even without the playing golf today, Steve. I love it. Ice Cube. So, bro, do you think Matip will score from a set piece like he did against City before the Community Shield? Look, I hope Matip scores regardless. Like, I love when Matip scores because his energy and his celebration, I know you guys know what I'm talking about. He freaks out. He freaks out, and I love it. Kyle, is the poison chalice a predict? I can't predict, guys. Searing says 5-2. I love it. I love it, guys. All right, we're going to wrap it up here. Make sure you tune into the watch along, guys. Watch along. We're going to go live 15 minutes before the start of the match. It's going to be a good game. In the meantime, I need to get some more coffee in me, and you guys need to get ready for this match, okay? You need to be there supporting the club. I'm pumped, Reds. Again, thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And until next Sunday, Reds, take care.